Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's video, or Sketchbook Doodles video, is going to be fairly simple and a little bit more sketchier than usual. So I usually don't like showing my sketching process on camera for traditional art anyways, because it's hard for me to see my paper if it's laying horizontal, and it's easier for me to prop up the book, but it's not ideal for filming. So I kind of did a compromise and found a way for me to sketch kind of like in between where I wouldn't really mind. I'm pretty sure I prop it up using my little mesh wire stand that you're gonna see later, just so I can prop it up and I can see it a little bit better. But I wanted to do some no pressure drawing where I kind of just freely sketch a little bit. I am using references or like some kind of reference for these. So basically I have some photos saved of 17 on my phone, just from like recent updates and stuff and things I find on Twitter, and I just picked a few so I have a reference for his outfit, potential pose, and like just his hair and stuff, so I have something to go off of. And yeah, so today I'm just drawing with ballpoint pen, and I thought it'd be fun to do this because I did a little spread earlier where I drew Wanu, and I used this orange pen that's like an Inkjoy pen, and it has a really nice flow of ink that I can actually just like build up slowly, but it has enough flow that I don't have to like press super hard to get a mark on the page. And I used to use these for notes very briefly in my uni days, and I've never touched them since. And I was digging around in my old pencil case and I found them, so I decided that, you know, why not kind of reuse them again. Like the package came with another, like a light blue pen, which I also enjoy using, but I gave it to my brother so he could use it for a little bit. So I wanted to pick a different color to use, and I've used the purple, I've used the black, obviously. I've used the green in a previous sketchbook, but I really like this orangey yellow color. I guess it's just an orange. I'm slurring my words because I feel nervous for some reason, but yeah, so I'm using orange today because I want to add kind of a orange or yellow wash on top of the sketches, because I guess that's just kind of the mood I'm in. I feel like the last few spreads that I did, because I'm about maybe 4 or 5 maybe spreads into the sketchbook already, and I've mostly done these pen doodles and then going back in with watercolors to kind of add value, or just do flat washes basically. Some of them are flat, some of them are a bit more I'm trying to add value, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about, I apologize for this video. But I feel like the start of the sketchbook started off well in terms of the cover, or not the cover, the first page, but just to ease myself into this new sketchbook, I've been wanting to draw stuff that I drew in the past where I wasn't so focused on making like finished work in the sketchbook. I feel like my last sketchbook was a little bit more like finished stuff because I was using a lot more gouache. I didn't find certain sketching materials that I used to use as fun anymore, or it didn't fit well with the paper of this kind of like, I don't know, this paper just doesn't really work with too much wet medium in terms of if you want things to dry quickly or things to not be like little bit blotchy or like little speckles on it. But using this ballpoint pen, I feel like it's just a good exercise as well, so I become a little bit more looser and a little bit less precious about erasing or like, you know, accidentally screwing something up and covering it like immediately. So I've been just sketching with ballpoint pen, doing a little bit of a wash and just calling it a day. And I used to do these a lot in my old sketchbooks previously, where I would look at different photos of 17, draw them in my kind of like derp style, and sometimes I bring it up to a certain finish in terms of like rendering it a little bit more by putting value, getting it smooth, getting that like contrast that I like. And I usually go ham on it in terms of usually the clothing, because that's where I like to focus on more when I do like traditional sketches, especially of people, because like I feel like digital painting, I focus a lot on the face and the hair, but in traditional art, because it's less of, like, I leave the face blank because there's not as much light or value on it usually, so I usually focus a lot more on the clothing. And yeah, I feel like my favorite sketch probably will be the 5th one that I'm going to show you guys. So we're on the 3rd one currently, and I feel like the last one I kind of just felt burnt out and I wanted to quickly just add the washes in after. But I'm just going through and I start on one portion of the page and kind of just make my way around until the whole page is kind of filled up to a certain degree. And that's about it. I did have a different session planned. There's literally like a page before this one where I did Masaki doodles and I used pinks and purples, and I thought it looked really pretty, but the filming itself looked a little grainy and the lighting was just really poor, so I couldn't see the vibrancy of the colors during filming, which is kind of upsetting. So I decided to scrap that video and do this one of just drawing June. So the references I'm using are just stuff I pulled from Twitter or screenshots that I've taken from their Going 17 episode, which I absolutely love watching the most recent one. I think it was very cute. And yeah, I don't know what else to talk about in terms of, yeah. Oh, this one's actually my favorite. So initially I was following the reference and he was supposed to be facing directly like forward, but the way how I have his eyes placed, I kind of just shuffled his head a little bit so that he's looking kind of free quarter, and I think that worked out the best. And back when I was doing a lot more 17 doodles in my sketchbook with pencil or like the Prismacolor Cool Erase, I would draw a lot of their like airport fashion because I was focusing, like I said, on their clothing. And I drew a lot of masks a lot, so I had a lot of fun with that one doodle down there because it felt right. It felt very comfortable to me. And as you can see on the right side, I have my little, I think it's like Seagate. I think it's just basically an external hard drive that I have, but it's very similar in height with my sketchbook, so it's easier for me to rest my hand. And I also had this under on the other side so that my book could lay perfectly downwards without it feeling too weird, because if it's like a less of a gap, then my hand can rest on the paper more easily. But if there's like a bigger gap, either from the table to the sketchbook or the sketchbook to the table, it's hard for me to draw comfortably. I hate this doodle. Oh well. I feel like this is the reason why I'm doing this one for today's Sketchbook Doodles video, is just because no pressure drawing, just get something on the page, do something, and maybe it'll turn out fine. And I actually really like the spread overall, so not too disappointed. And like I said, the 5th one is my favorite, so it's not like it's completely all wrong. But yeah, I guess I got this session and the other session a little mixed up. So the one with the Masaki that was pink and purple, I actually did that one propped up, which might have contributed to my lighting being terrible because it was somewhat backlit. But I decided to lay this one completely flat. I just had to sit on my legs and kind of lean forward to see over the desk and make sure that I could draw at least looking a little bit more over my sketchbook directly rather than at a weird angle. But Junie, the first one I drew, I was feeling uncomfortable still, so a lot of his proportion of his shoulders and stuff looked really small compared to his head. So yeah. And then the last one I just kind of gave up because I think I didn't draw his arm in the correct position. The one that's like closest to us, not in the right position, so it looked weird. So I just wanted to immediately stop doodling that one and put in the washes. Now, the washes that I did for my Wonu doodles were a little bit more like dry, and these ones are a little bit more wet, so I didn't get as flat of washes, but they turned out really nice. And as you can see, I was trying to lay the watercolor in the direction of how the clothing folds work, especially on this one. So at the beginning I was kind of angling it in the same way as his collar or how his shirt kind of droops, because the streaks aren't going to be fully merged together, so I thought it would be more appropriate for me to do that. But yeah, the paper actually handles watercolor quite well in terms of like laying flat afterwards, because after it dried it's actually pretty flat. and it's kind of nice because I can work on the other side of the paper without having too much of a worry. And yeah, the only problem I have is that it does speckle still. I feel like this one speckles a little bit less, or maybe it's because I haven't added as much water or layered it up in a certain way, because sometimes it's on the first pass that has a lot of speckles, or maybe it's only on certain pages that it has the speckling, because on my Wonu one there was like immediate speckling on one of my doodles, and on these June ones I don't really see any. So yeah, it might be on certain pages. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do kind of this little doodling session. Why is this video so long? I just realized. Wait. I don't know. But hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Hopefully with another painting session, or we'll do something maybe with graphite, because I haven't done pencil doodling in the Sketchbook Doodles video in a while, because I just can't find a comfortable way to sketch. And I feel like the last one I did was from like 2 sketchbooks ago, or like a sketchbook ago. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But hope you guys enjoyed watching me doodle for a little bit, and hopefully you guys can feel a little bit less pressure in your own sketchbook by doing something maybe with ballpoint pen where you're not as pressured to erase or make things look perfect. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time, and I'll stop rambling. Bye!